Hello everyone!
Hi everyone, today we are going to discuss a matter which I really didn't want to have to discuss. However, after more and more events were brought to my attention, I felt that as an individual with a platform, despite it not being as large as Abigail Pinehaven's, I had to bring forward these issues to try and gain a solution. I have spent over a month conducting research and have spoken to and interviewed people regarding Abby. I would like to emphasise that these people range from current or ex-moderators for her channel or server, current or ex-friends of Abby, as well as current or ex-supporters of her and her content. Also, please note that everyone who I interviewed/spoke to were okay with me sharing their statements in this video, and that I did not influence or sway their responses in any way, simply thanked them for their answers and moved on. These include some positive and some negative opinions towards her, to make sure that this video is as fair and as truthful as I can possibly make it. I have not made this video to cause an argument or to spread hate, but to try and bring to light issues which have been swept under the carpet due to, I believe, Abby's large social status. Before we begin, there are a few disclaimers I need to make. Firstly, please do not comment either below or anywhere regarding this video without watching the entire video. Please do not send anyone hate, not me, not the people I interview, not Abby. Please note that I will be blurring all names, profile pictures and tags in this video, and anyone who I speak about will be anonymous besides myself and Abigail Pinehaven. This is purely as I want any hate, which I feel is inevitably going to happen, to fall directly on myself and no one else involved. And lastly, before we begin, I would like to provide a quick bit of context regarding who Abigail Pinehaven is, how I know her, what connections I have/had towards her, and why I'm making this video. Abigail Pinehaven describes herself as a virtual horsey creator. She has, as of making this video, 104,000 subscribers on YouTube and began her channel by making videos about Star Stable. Nowadays she has moved on from Star Stable and creates videos regarding all forms of different horse games. I first knew of Abby around 2019 when I created my club Still Dancers, and I would say I became friendly with her in 2021. Abby also dated my now boyfriend Brad, who will only be discussed in this video regarding anything which is associated with her business. Please do not think this video has anything to do with her being Brad's ex. I'm an adult, it has nothing to do with this. I will discuss this more later on in the video. And lastly, I'm making this video to hopefully gain solutions to issues which have been brought to my attention or I myself have experienced regarding Abby, as well to get an overall opinion of her, which may be able to help her in being able to grow as a creator, hearing some very honest feedback from her audience/associates. Briefing over, we will begin with some quotes from interviews which I have conducted over my month of research. During most of these interviews, I asked either the same or similar 3 questions. First I asked was, what is your honest opinion of Abigail Pinehaven? Here are a few responses which I got to this question. Please note that I will not be reading all of them out and others will be put on the screen to read. I don't like her. I've been relatively neutral since she came across friendly enough, but personally I find her persona and context boring. After I learned more about things she's done and how she acts, I really started to dislike her. Honestly, I think she can be pleasant at most times when I first joined, but a few weeks ago she was a bit distant, and that's when we had a lot of trolls/unpresent people who were breaking rules, the staff, or being rude to staff. I know it's the staff's job to take care and moderate the server, but it feels like sometimes we are babysitting. Well, I'm definitely not fond of her anymore. I used to consider her a close friend of mine that I really loved, but in my opinion she has got too big for her breeches. She got just enough of a following to decide that she was better than other people and started to look down on those around her. Personally, I feel she was very two-faced. On one hand, I can see why so many people like her and watch her content. However, she appears on the outside as very different to who she actually is. I've known her to hurt people in the past for, by example, stealing the art of photography without permission, and not even crediting the original creator. I think she's a good person, positive vibes that puts smiles on everyone's face with her positive energy. So as we can see, a majority of these are fairly negative. Out of the I asked, had something negative to say about Abby. The second question I asked people was, Do you feel she shows bias or favouritism towards certain people? Here are some of the responses I received. Absolutely, because I was one of those people she used to show bias towards. Oh, definitely. I can think of many occasions where I know favouritism has happened with her friends in the Discord server and Pinecraft. Even today at the event, she was acting like one of her friends was an event host. Yep, sometimes she surely shows her favourites and who pay for a membership. Also by making videos with them, making other viewers feel left out because they can't pay to be recognised by her. I think she definitely does, yeah. Regarding her Discord server, she definitely seems to be part of the clique and tends to only really speak to those people. Again, as we can see, a lot of these are negative, mostly stating that people believe that she can show bias / clear favourites towards certain people. I myself have experienced this and have proof. I will discuss this more later in the video. As Abigail Pinehaven Productions is her business and not just something she does for fun, I believe that she should treat it with much more professionalism and therefore treat all customers equally. Obviously her friends and family are different, but I feel that her audience should not feel second best to other paying members. This is especially because her videos are aimed at children, and most children do not have access to have the money to be able to afford monthly memberships, meaning that they may consequently feel left out or feel second best. And the last question which I asked was, do you believe she has ever done anything to personally wrong you or anyone else? And if so, may I ask what? Here are some of the responses I received. Personally, no, I haven't had any bad experiences with her. The time period where she just disappeared was my only issue. Some of the staff members were a bit stressed out, but she did clear it out once she came back and apologised profusely, which did put us at ease. No, not me, no. Like I said, I never knew her personally at all, but I know she did something which upset and SD. Although I don't really know the specifics of why they changed their opinion on her. I know it must have been something fairly serious considering they were quite devoted supporters of her and were even mods at her at one point. Yes, well she makes around 10 to 14k monthly, just so they can be noticed by this famous superstar. You should have to pay to see someone you like. Absolutely, yeah. As previously mentioned, she stole my artwork and photography from people and attempted to turn it into merchandise for others to buy without consulting the original artist. This is something which has happened on at least 2 occasions. We can see that some of the responses here are more encouraging, mostly discussing issues regarding others and not themselves personally. However, these issues regarding the other individuals is why I feel this video needs to be made, as people know there are issues, however no one feels they were able to step forward and talk about it. I would now like to discuss the issues which I myself have experienced regarding Abby. I first knew of Abby, like I said at the beginning of this video, around late 2018, early 2019, when she had a smaller following of around 40k. When I first knew of her, I really liked her and admired her and her work. I enjoyed her videos and felt that she was a kind and genuine creator. I first started messaging her September of 2020, when she first attended one of my, at the time, fast-growing and recognisable club, Still Dancers events, after we attended most of her weekly live streams. I believe this started off as a kind gesture from Abby, a way of her thanking us for showing a lot of support towards her by attending most weekly live streams. Then, in December of 2020, Abby made a video with us titled Abigail Pinehaven Tries Star Stable Dressage featuring Still Dancers. The video did very well with over 70,000 views. I believe, however, that at this stage Abby had realised that we were a clickable club and began showing a large amount of interest in us, attending events often and being overly friendly towards us in live streams, etc. Furthermore, after speaking to people who knew her best at the time, they told me that she was using us for clout. However, I do not have any proof of this. Abby and I were friendly, however I would describe us as distant friends, as our messages remained few and far between, normally to discuss events which she had attended. For the rest of 2020 and 2021, we remained friendly and she attended Still Dancers events. I would say once about every 2 to 3 months. Meanwhile, my channel was growing and in May of 2021, I got invited to feature in her 2021 Pine Tour as a content creator. I accepted and featured, despite my channel being a lot smaller than all of the other channels creators featured. The last event she attended was with Brad in September of 2021. Shortly afterwards, I handed over ownership of Still Dancers. This is also the last date of contact me and Abby had, in September of 2021. This may be considered proof that she was only friendly towards us because of Still Dancers. This is an important date to note, as you can see that Abby and I had not discussed anything or had a disagreement or fallout. During 2020 to 2021, I felt that Abby did show my club bias and favouritism, especially during live streams. May also have been because I was a top donator, donating around £300 in total. I do not want to bring personal matters into this video, however it is important to note that Abby and Brad ended their relationship in October 2021, after me and Abby had stopped talking, and Brad and I started our relationship early 2022. Despite me and Abby not having any form of disagreement, as soon as it became public that Brad and I were in a relationship, Abby unfollowed and unfriended me on most social media. August 27th, 2022, I purchased the Best Piney rank roll on her membership, which was £23. When I purchased the rank, the perks were a shout out in one video a month and I follow you on one social media. I got a screenshot right before buying it of these pages stating these perks. Once buying it, I politely contacted Abby like it said and asked her to give my Instagram a follow. I received some very short and blunt messages in response saying that the perk was no longer available. I told her that when I had bought it, it was, and her response was that she had removed it due to a few people activating it. When I checked back, that perk had been removed, but only after I contacted her hours after purchasing it. It is my belief that she may have decided to remove the perk because she did not want to follow me. However, I have no proof of this and it is just my opinion. I tried to reason with her that if there was anything to do with personal grudges, that we were both adults and we should do our best to put it behind us. However, she completely ignored it. We ended the discussion, paused to read in further depth, on good terms. When I checked back a few hours later, I found that she had blocked me on Instagram and also removed me from the Discord server, as well as making my YouTube chats not come through. Meaning that I now definitely do not have access to barely any of the perks, as I do not have access to the Discord or the Instagram. It is my opinion that she did remove the perk purely because it was me who purchased it, and that she was rather cold towards me. I believe that as a customer, she should have treated me equally and not held personal grudges in the way of business, and although I cannot prove this was the reason for her to remove the perk, I feel that the manner in which she spoke to me, the timings of it all, and the fact that there were only 4 extra pineys, not what I would consider enough to remove that perk, I feel it is evidence enough to strongly imply that this is the case. 18th of September, while working on this video, Abby removes the Best Piney rank and tells another member that she removed it because, after a year of dabbling in memberships for other channels myself, I figure that less is more. As a member of other channels, I enjoy the simple things like the badge, a green livestream name, and I was more likely to keep a membership if it was on the cheaper side. I feel this is positive as she has realised that £23 was a ridiculous amount to be charging. However, I find it sad that she only realised this because she wants people to keep a membership, meaning she wants more people to paying and for longer. I find this very disappointing reason to keep the membership, not because she felt bad that £23 a month was a ridiculous amount to be charging for little to no perks, but because she feels that she will have less people paying £23 a month. Her saying this really struck me, as it is very clear she is extremely money orientated in this. I now have a large statement from a club owner on the UK service who felt very strongly about Abby showing bias towards certain individuals, saying she witnessed it herself. This individual sent me their statement and I would like to share it. As it involves me, I would also like to give my thoughts on it. Please note that what I'm about to read out is this individual's own words. I'd known Abby for a while. She was a big SSO YouTuber and a few of the people in the club had supported her. The first incident was when she created an argument between still dancers and another club. I didn't know if it was intentional or not, but basically she said that in one of her weekly live streams that Friends Club was bigger than Still Dancers, which caused quite a big argument between the two clubs. From what I remember, the owners tried to best resolve it, however the members were the ones causing the issues, which including raiding each other's open servers, sending threats back and forth, as well as other things. Not only this, but it caused other clubs to join in. It was back and forth for a while. I know for a fact that people went forward to Abby and said that because of her comparison between popularity between clubs, she'd caused this massive argument. However, I'm pretty sure her responses were along the lines of either blocking the people who came forward and messaged her saying she didn't want to get involved in drama, despite her being the one to cause it in the first place, or just not opening or ignoring the messages. This went on for around a week or so, and I'm not sure how it ended. However, I am sure that it did not end with Abby saying anything. Myself and my friends stood back and watched the favouritism for Still Dancers, and we believe this is why she didn't step in. this whole event caused such a negative impact towards my friend's club. They got so much hate for so long because of Abby's fans defending herself and still dancers. Not only this, but the other clubs which had stepped in to defend my friend's club felt like they were owed, and my friend had to repay these other clubs if they had an issue, which caused even more rifts. Fast forward, Abby follows my club Instagram. Of course, I freaked out a bit. I think anyone else would if a big SSO YouTuber followed them. However, it turned out the only real reason she followed us was because one of my members was a long-time supporter and donator. It was around this time that she was doing her world tour, which some of us attended during the UK part. During it, we felt left out and ignored, as a lot of the attention was given towards still dancers and other big content creators. During this stream was where I met my now very close friend Brad, who at the time was Abby's boyfriend. Myself and my club made a joke that we were his protection squad, as I was getting swarmed by Abby's friends. And he stayed with us for the remainder of the stream, which was super nice. A few times Brad did try and get her attention about the protection squad, however she ignored them. After an hour-long stream, we all lined up for a photo with Abby, Brad included. We were all kind of excited to get a photo with Abby. From what I remember, Abby stood at the other end of the line for ages with still dancers, and there was a lot of praise being showered on this club. When she moved on from that end, she completely glossed over us and didn't even acknowledge us, and after an hour of the stream and the confusion of it all, it felt like a massive kick in the face. Myself and my members left the event losing all respect for the creator. The event itself felt very messy and extremely biased. A while after that, I was having very small conversations with her. Then one day I noticed she unfollowed us, and not only us, pretty much every other club except still dancers. Again, an obvious example of favouritism. We unfollowed Abby and left her Discord server. A few people in my club also had stories regarding her, and one topic was prominent in every single one: favouritism. It's sad in my opinion that a big content creator does not address issues, picks favourites because of donors, and some people really support Abby, and it's a sad situation. Unfortunately, I have no recollection of the incident between still dancers and the other club in this statement. I'm not saying it didn't happen, I just have no memory of this as it was over a year ago, therefore I shall not comment on that matter. However, I completely remember the world tour, and after going back through the video and counting how many times she addressed still dancers in comparison to the other club, I found it was 6 to 7 times in comparison to 2 to 3 times for the other club. Although Abby was friendly with still dancers and she had known us for a while, she had also known this other club for a while, and I feel that yes, still dancers may get an extra special mention once. To have nearly double that is where things start getting obvious and the clubs and others feel left out. I now have a situation which occurred between Abby and Brad. Before we begin, I need to state this has absolutely nothing to do with the relationship they had. I am an adult, I do not quite frankly care about that, and I would gain nothing by doing that. Furthermore, it is the only thing that people are going to say or use against me, then I am okay with that. I would like to reiterate that this is purely to do with her business and nothing personal between the two. However, I felt that as this was the second example of this happening, it needed to be discussed. Also, please note that Brad has asked me to write this statement for him. March 24th, 2022, Brad sent Abby this message into her Discord server. This is after Brad had discovered Abby was using his photo which Brad took for Abby's personal use of her dog unit to try and profit from it. Not only this, Abby did not credit Brad for the photo, instead she put a large Abigail Pinehaven Productions watermark over it. Rightly, Brad was upset. However, Abby got very angry at Brad for announcing that in the Discord server. A personal note from myself, I believe that because she didn't want to tarnish her reputation within her server. Back to Brad. Abby made a private channel on her server and added Brad to it, where she argued with him, stating that she did not have the time to contact him and ask if she could use it, which I feel is wrong as it doesn't take 2 minutes to message Brad and ask. I have a few of the chats which were exchanged in the server, and as we can see, Abby was rude and unprofessional when clearly she was in the wrong. Abby did remove the photos of unit, therefore not from profiting from it. However, I feel that she wronged Brad in this scenario, hoping to get away with it, and that is very unprofessional in the way that she conducted this situation and the manner which she went about it. This is actually the second time she has stolen someone's artwork without crediting it. More on this later in the video. This situation was shared with me by someone who used to moderate within her server and described themselves as an ex-close friend of Abby's. As we can see, this individual also felt bias from Abby towards another individual, and I feel was treated poorly by Abby despite their help. Furthermore, this is another example we can see of Abby stealing people's artwork without credit. As we can see, I feel there are some similarities in this story. She also tried to dismiss the situation with Brad. Despite both of these times her being in the wrong, Like it says in the screenshots, she did eventually remove them. However, I feel once again she dealt with the matter very unprofessionally, and her immediate reaction should have been to apologise profusely and immediately remove them, rather than argue. As I am making this video, there has been a development which I wish to add. Abby recently shared in her story that a few individuals had been stealing her content on TikTok. I find this extremely hypocritical, as she has done it twice before with 2 different art creators. There is another situation which was mentioned to me by about 9 different individuals. However, I have specifically been asked not to use it, as some of the people involved were anxious about losing their role in the Pinehaven server. I, of course, will respect their wishes and not discuss it. However, I felt it important just to share that there are more issues which I am not able to bring to light, perhaps because of Abby's large social status and role of power. I would also like to discuss a theme which has been brought up to me a lot whilst I made this video, and that is money. I recently shared a story on my Instagram sharing a few of my beliefs, and it appeared that a lot of you agree with me. I feel that unfortunately Abby has become very money centred. Of course it is her full-time job, she needs to survive. However, we can see that with her views alone she earns yearly above the national wage. This is not including other things such as the member section or any ads she may partake in. Furthermore, I feel that to charge £23 a month for purely a mention in one video being the perk is barbaric, and is very clearly a money-making situation. Of course she needs to have an income to survive, however it is my strong opinion that she has got greedy and has become centred by it, as we can see by charging £23. Furthermore, Abby does not give back to her community as much as she used to. I feel that as a creator myself, despite it not being my full-time job, and despite me not choosing to make money from my videos, I could if I wanted to. I know that personally I would do a lot more to give back to my community, and I would do more events for charity. I'm not trying to state that she isn't allowed to do what she wants with her money, however I know that I would do more to give back. Furthermore, I am aware of the situation regarding her and the money she makes, which I unfortunately feel like I am unable to discuss. However, I know that she is definitely not always being moral in regards to it and how she is paid. As this video draws to a close, I have a few things which I wish to end on. Firstly, like I said at the beginning of the video, please do not send anyone hate for this video. It is purely to try and bring light to situations which have been swept under the carpet which need to be addressed. Furthermore, it is to try and make sure that Abby hears some very honest feedback from her community, which may be able to help her grow as a creator. I ask that no matter your opinion towards Abby, you watch this video open-minded. In conclusion, I do not believe that she is a spiteful or nasty person. I believe she doesn't like to address issues, meaning that unfortunately this video has been necessary as too many have built up without a solution or apology. I also believe that she sometimes does conduct matters in an unprofessional way, and that she can portray pettiness and bias. That being said, she is also a good role model for her younger viewers, as well as being a very positive figure overall. Abby, this section is directly to you. If you are watching this video, please address it. Reach out either via DM or statement. We, as your audience and associates, are looking for solutions to some issues, and you have every power to make this right. Thank you for watching and being open-minded.